news from the State Pharmaceuticals Corporation. All Rajya Sal outlets of the SPC gives a 5% discount for medicines on prescription for senior citizens above 55 years, children under 5 years and pregnant mothers. SPC provides high quality, safe, efficacious medicinal drugs at affordable prices. The State Pharmaceuticals Corporation of Sri Lanka. Your health is our concern.
6:15, this is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Dulmin Samarasinghe and read by Niranjan Abesundara. The Prime Minister instructs officials to allocate funds in future to provide financial assistance for temples island-wide. Mr. Jill Perry said preliminary draft for a new constitution will be introduced within 6 months. The Sri Lanka Freedom Party appoints a committee to study the draft of the 20th Amendment to the Constitution. A travel ban has been imposed on the new diamond ship captain. In world news, Chancellor Angela Merkel says coronavirus infection rate could hit nearly 20,000 per day in Germany. Sports news: cricket. Bangladesh's tour of Sri Lanka in October postponed once again. The Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa says that the government should allocate funds in future enabling temples, rural areas and undeveloped temples to get financial assistance. More funds have been allocated for developed temples when providing financial assistance during the past. Funds have not been allocated for rural and undeveloped temples. The Prime Minister mentioned this during a discussion today at the Prime Minister's official residence in Colombo with a group of Buddhist monks from the Dharangaslanda electoral division. The discussion had been held to look into the possibility of expediting development activities in the Dharangaslanda electoral division. The Prime Minister instructed the Secretary of the Minister Buddha Sasana to take steps to declare the Nelligala Rajama Vihare as a sacred site and the development activity to be implemented at other temples. The Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa instructed Health Minister Paitavani Narachi to pay attention to the issues of the Dharangaslanda Ayurveda Hospital. He instructed the governor of the Vayama province, Raja Kulere, to look into the problem of the Dharangaslanda town, including sanitary facilities. Mr. Jill Perry said the 20th Amendment to the Constitution will be introduced to save the country from the harmful situation created by the 19th Amendment. He said, information revealed before the Federal Commission to inquire into Easter Sunday attacks shows the shortcomings of the 19th Amendment. Clashes between the President and the Prime Minister during the previous government are fine examples in this regard. During a media briefing today, Mr. Jill Perry said preliminary draft for a new constitution will be introduced within 6 months. Hearing of petitions on the 20th Amendment will commence tomorrow. The Minister said that Secretary of Sri Lanka Pudana Peramana, Sagar Karivasam and he would intervene for the petitions. He said the aim to complete activities are needed for the 20th Amendment before presenting the budget. The Sri Lanka Freedom Party has appointed a 10-member committee to study the proposed 20th Amendment to the Constitution draft bill and submit recommendations to the party. SEP General Secretary Dasir Jayasekara said, after recommendations of the committee are taken into consideration, SEP will present its ideas and proposals to the committee appointed by the Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. A foreign travel ban has been imposed on the captain of the new diamond ship which caught fire in the Eastern Sea recently. The captain of the ship appeared before the court today. The Colombo Chief Magistrate Mohammed Mihar did not give permission to remand the captain as requested by the Attorney General. He ordered the Controller of Immigration to take necessary measures to prevent him from travelling overseas. The magistrate ordered the captain to give his full support to the investigations and to inform the court if he changes his residence. The case will be taken up again on the 12th of next month. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Mr. K. Rabukwela says the discussion held through video technology by Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi is important to both countries. During a media briefing in Colombo today, he said attention was paid on the steps taken by Sri Lanka to successfully control the coronavirus and also on the decisions taken in future on various sectors. Taking part in the media briefing, State Minister Aditya Nivar Cabral said discussions will be held with India in future as well to make the country stronger in economic and other sectors. Minister Douglas Devananda said the two Prime Ministers discussed several issues, including the long-standing fisheries problem. Army Commander Chandra Silva says that the training of the first batch of graduates recruited for government employment is in the last stage. 50,000 graduates recruited to the government service are being trained under 5 stages. The Army has been entrusted with the training of 10,000 of them. The Army Commander mentioned this to the media after attending to religious rituals here today at Sri Dalai Maligav in Kandy in connection with the 71st anniversary of the Army, which falls on the 10th of next month. And that ends local news for now.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Vidya Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vidya Mahatmya.
Traffic and Road Safety Director SSP Indika Hapagota says a survey for updates and all traffic light signals will be carried out aiming to reduce traffic congestion in Colombo. He said the joint survey would be carried out by the Sri Lanka Police, Road Development Authority and the Colombo Municipal Council. He said the green signal countdown time on traffic lights will be increased on roads where most vehicles were travelling, while the countdown time will be reduced when there were fewer vehicles following the survey. That was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vidya Mahatmya.
Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
On to Watchlight, Central Bank of Sri Lanka has released the Sri Lanka Socio-Economic Data 2020, the annually published data folder which is now available for public information. The current data folder is 43rd volume of the series. Publication is available online. That came to you in Watchlight.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of
People's Leasing, the trusted leader. From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always. All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Chancellor Angela Merkel says coronavirus infection rate could hit nearly 20,000 per day in Germany. Polish Foreign Minister flags possibility of national sanctions against Belarus. U.S. Supreme Court nominee ballot readies for meeting this week on Capitol Hill. Chancellor Angela Merkel has told leaders of Christian Democrats today that the coronavirus infection rate could hit 19,200 per day in Germany if the current trend continues, but stressed the economy must be kept running. Infections have been rising in Germany for weeks. Data from the Robert Koch Institute for Infectious Diseases showed the number of confirmed coronavirus cases in Germany rose by 1,192 today. The caseload has hit more than 20,000 on some recent days. Polish Foreign Minister Zbigniew Rau said today if the European Union does not impose sanctions on the Belarusian officials, EU member states neighboring Belarus could consider national sanctions. Rau added he hoped there would be a consensus on the penalties within the EU soon. The bloc vowed weeks ago to impose penalties on Minsk over election fraud and human rights abuses. But any such decision requires unanimity of all 27 EU member states. President Donald Trump's nominee to Supreme Court, Amy Coney Barrett, will begin meetings with senators this week. The Republicans push ahead with rapid Senate confirmation process ahead of November's presidential election over the objections of Democrats. A confirmation by the Senate would result in a 6-3 conservative majority on the court. Republicans hold a 53-47 advantage in the Senate and are aiming to hold a vote before 3rd November election in accordance with Trump's wishes. And back to the headline to the world news. Chancellor Angela Merkel says coronavirus infection rate could hit nearly 20,000 per day in Germany. Polish Foreign Minister flags possibility of national sanctions against Belarus. The U.S. Supreme Court nominee Barrett released for meetings this week on Capitol Hill. That was World News.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of
People's Leasing, the trusted leader. From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always. All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Development news. The Tea Factory Learning Centre was opened at the National Institute of Plantation Management by the State Minister Kanaka Herath and Minister Ramesh Pathrana recently. The aim of the Learning Centre is to enhance practical knowledge of the students undergoing educational courses at the National Institute of Plantation Management. With the opening of the new Learning Centre, change to the course curriculum is also expected. On to sports news. It's cricket. Bangladesh's tour of Sri Lanka has been postponed once again after two cricket boards did not agree on a stipulated 14-day quarantine as per Health Safety Protocol in the wake of COVID-19 pandemic. Bangladesh was supposed to tour Sri Lanka in July-August for 3 test matches, but it was postponed because of the global health crisis. According to the current schedule, Bangladesh was scheduled to arrive to Sri Lanka yesterday, with the first test starting on the 23rd of next month. Tennis news. Tennis Australia boss Craig Tallis said players preparing for the Australian Open could be allowed to compete while in quarantine after arriving in the country. National arrivals to Australia were to isolate for 14 days as part of strict COVID-19 protocols. Tallis said in a letter to players that TA was working with local authorities to ensure they would be able to train and prepare for the Australian Open and other local events in the lead-up during the 2-week isolation. Football news. UK government has been warned that football is now at risk of the collapse of the National League structure that have been known for over 100 years. A group of prominent figures have written a joint letter urging ministers to help with the coronavirus crisis rescue package. They say many EFL and National League clubs are now preparing to cease playing but put their business into administration. Basketball news. The Miami Heat reached the NBA Finals for the first time since 2014 at the 125-113 win over the Boston Celtics wrapped up a 4-2 series victory. And that in sports news.
The wait is over and it's time for you to experience happiness. It's time to remap the graph for success. It's time to rebuild your empire. It's time to initiate your entrepreneur dreams. Empower your dreams with NSB Wings. Get your 2-year personal loan for just 7% per annum, starting from 500,000 rupees to 10 million rupees. All you need is just one guarantee. NSB Wings. Recharge the high goal.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
Adding a new concept to the Sri Lankan tourism catalogue, the Rise of Life by Tissa Inn Boutique Hotel has introduced a 24-hour checkout system for guests. Chairman Rise of Life Ganesha Sirivardhana said the hotel offers 26 luxury rooms and an area for conferences with 200 guests and a large rooftop area making it an ideal venue for corporate outings. That was Business News.
The wait is over and it's time for you to experience happiness. It's time to remap the graph for success. It's time to rebuild your empire. It's time to initiate your entrepreneur dreams. Empower your dreams with NSB Wings. Get your 2-year personal loan for just 7% per annum, starting from 500,000 rupees to 10 million rupees. All you need is just one guarantee. NSB Wings. Recharge the high goal.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Hello, Puta. Did you land already?
We're in transit and our flight got delayed.
How is Shani? Poor thing with her pregnancy.
Calm down, everything is sorted. Why, I have my LOLC World Card with me. We are at the VIP lounge.
LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
Sri Lanka's average coconut prices grew 5% to 56,494 rupees for 1,000 nuts at the last auction this month after easing for 2 weeks. Highest price was 61,000 rupees for 1,000, up from 59,600 rupees last week. And the lowest was 51,500 rupees, up from 51,000 rupees at the auction conducted by the Sri Lanka Development Authority on the 24th of this month. That was economic news.
Congratulations on your promotion. It will be our treat, huh?
How about today?
Oh no, I was just joking.
It's fine. I have my LOLC credit card with me. Let's go out today.
Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
Weather report was sponsored by
CIB Janajaya Vasana 15th phase offer from 14th September to 11th October. Win gifts worth in 100,000s for every over 3,000 rupees bill. Visit CIB today.
The Met Department says showers will occur at times in the western, Sabaragamu, central and northwestern provinces and the Gaul and Mathura districts. Several spells of slight showers may occur in the north-central province. Short and shower occur at a few places in the Uva province and in the Batticaloa and Ampara districts. Heavy falls, about 50 millimeters, are likely in some places in the western, Sabaragamu and central provinces and the Gaul and Mathura districts. Strong gusty winds can be expected across the island, particularly in the northern, north-central and northwestern provinces, Trincomalee and Hambantota districts, and on the western slopes of the East Central Hills. That was the weather report.
Weather report was sponsored by
CIB Janajaya Vasana 15th phase offer from 14th September to 11th October. Win gifts worth in 100,000s for every over 3,000 rupees bill. Visit CIB today.
And back to the headlines of the news. The Prime Minister instructs officials to allocate funds in future to provide financial assistance for temples island-wide. Minister G.L. Peiris said preliminary draft for a new constitution will be introduced within 6 months. The Sri Lanka Freedom Party appoints a committee to study the draft of the 20th Amendment to the Constitution. A travel ban has been imposed on the new diamond ship captain. In world news, Chancellor Angela Merkel says coronavirus infection rate could hit nearly 20,000 per day in Germany. Sports news is cricket. Bangladesh tour of Sri Lanka in October postponed once again.